Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for most of us. It's actually afternoon or evening already. So welcome everyone. We appreciate you being here, whether you're team live or team replay. Let us know in the comments below so we can come back and engage with you. Before we kick this off with hey, here's who we are or what we're doing or just having a bit of fun, we do have to say we all jumped on this StreamYard. And look, it took me a minute because Anna asked me this question. I didn't know the answer. But for those of you that may be out there listening, do you notice something about us three? Mind you, this was not planned. So if you notice something, put it in the comments below. I'm not going to give you much time because I'm just going to give you the answer, but you can start typing away. But if you notice, we all have white shirts on, and that was totally not planned. Where our colors for our branding were not white. I mean, I never wear white, hardly ever, right? So it's kind of awesome that we all joined in without any prep, and we're all wearing white. Interesting.
Yeah, Denise, that was fun.
The secret memo.
Yeah. Fun. Good way to kick off or start our live today.
The choice is made for us, Denise, isn't it? The choice is made for us. We're going to go with it.
Exactly. You got to go and be in the flow, right? And the flow was we were all coming in on this with the same shirt on. The same color shirt. All right. Well, good. Well, we don't want to spend a whole lot of time here today. So for those of you that are going to be here, we really want to have a little bit of fun, but also share a little bit about what we're doing because we are doing an event next on the 7th. So next Wednesday. Yes, yeah. Thank you. Next Wednesday. We are doing an event next Wednesday, a week from today. And so we really wanted to come together because we've not been talking about this. It is an invite only. We'll get to the specifics around the event a bit later. But because we haven't been promoting it a whole lot and we've not been sharing a whole lot of information, we wanted to take the time to really show a little bit about us, our personalities, what you're going to see in that event, and really just have some fun together so that we could prepare for our Wednesday Insights session. So with that being said, what we're going to do today is a little bit of fun, we hope. As we can see, I'm a little quirky as anyway to begin with, but we're going to do just quick intros because this isn't really about us. This is really about what we're attempting to do with our Insights session. So I'll just do the quick kickoff, which is, hey, Denise, Murtha, Bachmann. If you haven't seen me, I do a lot of lives, although I've taken a break in July. It's been kind of nice. I've even been a little bit away from social media for a bit. I mean, I've been here and there, but not super engaged or putting out a lot of content, and it's been a little fun. So anyway, I have Selevators, which is all about sales. I'm here 5 times a week, usually on the weekends every now and then. And that's about as exciting as it gets for me. So maybe Anna, you're next on my screen. You do a quick intro for yourself as well.
Cheers, Denise. Yeah, I have to say, inspired by Denise, watching you quite a long time now. And I am not far behind in terms of live here and live there and show there. So I'm learning a lot from you and delighted to be here. And yeah, I think what I must say here as an introduction, right? This wasn't planned, wasn't written, and like 6 months of, talking and acting and whatever else goes behind the big stage performances. We know each other for almost 2 years now. Am I right?
Yeah.
And we met through Elite Universe called Breaker, but I never ever thought that I will be in this trio doing this, especially like it was organized today. Thank you, Denise, and thank you, Peter, for being the mastermind behind this in a ways, right? So yeah, I'm delighted to be here and say that I'm glad joining in from Ireland, and yeah, great to hear you all, and hopefully we'll get some comments from our listeners. Peter, over to you.
Oh, well, I don't know how to top that besides the white shirt, but okay. I'm zooming in. I'm streaming in from Canada, so near Toronto, and it's been a journey. Yes, I mean, we've known each other, Denise and Anna. I've known both of you now for at least 2 years. So it has been an interesting journey, and sometimes synergy strikes. And well, I think this is the effect of the synergy, not just the white T-shirt or the white shirt for that matter. But yeah, the synergy of what we're bringing to the table, bringing our strengths together, and really being able to wanting to make a difference. So, hey, you know what? Welcome to everybody listening in. If you enjoy the fun and games, just let us know, because this is going to be fun. I have a quirky sense of humor sometimes. It can be a bit dry too. And yeah, we'll bring that to the table too.
All right. Now, when I first met Peter, I thought he was super dry. Now, I have since learned that he does have some quirkiness, right? I don't think anyone's quite as quirky as I am, but because I kind of take the cake there. But he does. He has a really fun side to him. But there for a while, Peter, I thought you had a really dry sense of humor. But I love a good dry sense. I mean, you have to listen and you have to be present and pay attention. But I loved your jokes, or when no one really knew you were joking, right? I actually caught on to them and loved them.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I think that come across if you read Peter's posts. All comments very thoughtful, but there is always a hint of humor there, right? And you get the message really directly, Peter. That was cool.
Well,
and
hey,
I think
yeah,
mine. I think for the first time, probably I've seen when we spoke about dancing. Do you remember? Dancing. So that's the way it all started. Yes, look at that. I have to see that in person. So looking forward to that, Peter.
Indeed.
Hey,
yes.
I got to meet Peter live.
Yeah.
When
Look
he
at
came.
that.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
Quite a bit ago.
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hopefully soon again.
Yes, definitely.
Go
That's
down to your
more
neck
to
of the woods.
more to share about that, because Peter's got some fun and exciting stuff coming in the future here. Well, as we know, working with Lee, the future is really the present, but nonetheless, he's soon, there's a whole lot of fun stuff he'll share at some point. But look, for those of you who are out there, I know Anna let us know that she's coming in from Ireland. Peter is coming in from Canada. I'm here in Houston. I forgot to mention that. For those of you that are either, again, Team Live or Team Replay, just let us know where you're located, and let us know if you're Team Live or Team Replay. For those of you that are tuning in, though, we really wanted to not only have some fun, share our personalities together, but share a little bit about what our event looks like next Wednesday, and why we thought it was so important. And then we'll talk a little bit about kind of why we came together. So first, let's talk about the topic next week. I mean, it is less than 6 months left in the year. A lot going on. There's a lot of chaos, right? I know, Peter, you have a great stat that you a great statistic that we were talking about earlier. Do you want to share that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, one of the things that I'm sort of hearing through the grapevine in the marketplace from interacting and working with executives and some of my colleagues in that space as well, is that a lot of leaders are wrestling with, they've got to change their priorities. Have they got their priorities right? What priorities do they need to have in order to finish 2024 strong? Most people have set that at the beginning of the year and what they're going to do and so on and so forth. But there's been a lot of changes in the world, a lot of geopolitics going on, a lot of uncertainty going on, and things are constantly shifting. So there's a lot of that stuff that's happened. And now the question is, well, do we have the right priorities? What should our priorities be with only 5 months left of the year? That starts tomorrow. So, what are you doing? Some people are going, tearing their hair out. They're not sure. So that's what I'm hearing, and they need some help. Hey, if we can give them some help, then let's do it. So, yeah.
And I know from a sales perspective, a lot of sales is struggling to hit their numbers. So you have to figure out, you have to reevaluate mid-year. What are we doing from a priorities perspective that is ensuring that we can get closer to line of sight to those sales targets? And if not, what are we needing to prioritize differently? What do we have to do differently? So I think, Anna, you can share a little bit about maybe what you're seeing, but I feel like I know this is such a timely topic right now. You're on mute, Anna.
We spoke quite a bit about it between the three of us, but I just thought I'm just going to go in and check some of the statistics, right? So, and the top two out of number of issues or the outcomes of not prioritizing effectively in organizations were, the first one is productivity loss, and the second one was increased stress and burned out. We can talk about different things, but multitasking is everywhere now. It's expected from everybody, right? But if you look at multitasking and say that productivity in organizations actually about 27.5%, that's what it says statistics today, right? And increased stress burnout of people who actually at the higher level almost goes to 71%. That's absolute massive. There are different layers of that, but if you look at overall organizational well-being, we'd say, those numbers are not looking good. So here we are. We decided that we're going to make some positive change and this on this topic, with this topic, whatever way you want to call it, and put our skills and expertise together and help organizations to achieve less stress, less burned out, and, as you say, Denise, kill the sales in 2024. So
I love that, because look, sales is the lifeblood of every organization, right? And so, you know, we are all trying to, and we all have a sales role, whether we have a sales title or not. We all have a sales role. So if we can help prioritize, help leaders prioritize more effectively so that they can achieve their targets, I mean, you know, why not, right? So Peter, maybe share with us a little bit about, we've talked about the why we wanted to come together and have this insight session next week. Peter, maybe share a little bit about what we should expect in this program.
So the event we're doing next week is to really be able to share some strategies, some insights, some information that executives, that leaders, that high achievers and startups and so on can utilize, can, you know, just listen to and either confirm or utilize, or, hey, I need some help, and reach out to us just to get that going. When you, especially when I was just thinking when you were talking there a moment, for startups, I mean, for them it's critical that they don't have these budgets, this existing revenue that is doing well. Let's preface that and saying whatever well means in this case, but they need revenue, so they need sales. They're either trying to get the next round of funding in, so you've got that issue. So we're trying to give, as a collective, with the information that we have, our strength, our expertise, our skill sets, bring some value to people that they can utilize, that'll not only help them, but actually, to Anna's point about stress and burnout, mitigate some of that effect on them, just with that little bit of information. I mean, if they want to reach out and help more, that's great too. Then we can really help them there. But it's just to serve the industry and just bring that stress down just that little bit, baby, and push that burnout threshold a little further out if we can, you know, that sort of thing. But it's about information. It's about resources, about strategies.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
And overall clarity, Peter, isn't it? I think sometimes.
Yeah. I mean,
we all move in somewhere, but without clarity, where do you go? So, yeah.
Right. And once you've got that priority, because it's interesting, because really, I mean, at an executive level, an organization really should only have one clear priority that they're focusing on at any given time. Because, I mean, everybody says, yeah, well, I've got 5, 10, 15 priorities that I've got to focus on. But the reality is, when you do that spread, that dilution to try and cover everything, you really don't do such a great job. And the team is also confused because they don't know, well, am I doing this priority or am I focused on this at this time? But when there's a singular priority and that the whole organization is focused on, you know, and everything is driven through what that priority is, well, not only do you get performance, but you get the productivity, and you get, above all, you get the outcomes. So you get the sales, you get whatever the outcome of that priority is going to be. Obviously, for most organizations, it's going to be sales orientated. But
I was actually going to go to Denise now and say, Denise, how do you think this really matters or impacts sales overall?
I mean, that's easy because we don't have much time left, right? There is a sales cycle, regardless of what you're selling. When you have salespeople who have multiple priorities, or they have one priority of their own, but it didn't align to the company, or they had a priority and they haven't even met their numbers yet, realigning those priorities. So reevaluating and aligning those priorities so that they can stay laser focused, so they can reduce that sales process cycle down, or that they can move those that are already in the pipeline to a faster close, so we can all see success at the end of 2024, having hit our numbers. Because it's not just about the company, it's about the individual salespeople, it's the leaders. We all get paid we all get, commissions and KPI and bonus, right? Based on the sales targets. So if we're all marching to the same priority and we are all aligning our activities to map to those priorities, and man, we are then, the sky's the limit, right? We have a greater chance for success by the end of the year. At least if you don't make it where you want, you'll have progressed much further than you did the first part of the year, for sure. So we're hoping that this session is really interactive next week, and they take away some practical tips that they can start to learn how to prioritize immediately when they leave. Or am I wrong in assuming that, Anna and Peter?
No, you're not. I do hope that people are able to take some stuff away with it, fill in some of the gaps in what processes they have and thinking and strategies that they have to really hone in on that priority that they need to get focused on, and then to rally the entire workforce around, their teams around, to make it a reality. So yeah, definitely there's going to be some value they're going to get out of it.
Just to say that this will be very informal, conversational style session. And we will welcome everybody's, thoughts, opinions in some ways, and the practices, because we firmly believe, all three of us here anyway, we learn from each other a lot by sharing our knowledge. But just, learning something and not sharing, I don't think it's really learning. So through those conversational style sessions, we would like to achieve that, where people will share their experience and expertise and concerns. Because sometimes you may have a situation that you overcome already, and you can save a lot of time and energy if somebody else taking a piece of advice from somebody else who's already been there. So yeah.
Absolutely. And it is to foster that open conversation amongst everybody who attends, because everybody's got some value, you've got something, some experience or whatever to bring to this conversation that we're going to have next week. So we can all, everybody can take something away. So, and as a bonus, what we'll do is we'll recap everything at the end and send everybody that information. So if you attend, you get the recap. Now there's a bonus.
So the bonus in.
Well, I think it's really important, though, to, we want everyone to come and have a good time, share some of their challenges, their situations. We want to talk through, give them practical tips. But who cares? Why? So why is it us that are facilitating that? So maybe we could share a little bit about our areas of expertise that we can bring to the table, but why we came together, how we came together, and why. We already talked about, we referenced kind of how, in that we've been together for about 2 years. So maybe we each share a little bit about our areas of expertise and why we thought coming together would be so phenomenal, not only because we want to share with others, but even for our own personal growth, right?
So Denise, why don't you start to kick that one off?
I was going to say, go on, Denise.
Yeah. So for me, so I'm obviously sales, 30 plus years now in sales, primarily in technology, although I had a little bit of a stint in pharma sales as well. Closed a lot of great business, had tremendous success, realized there was a gap. We're adopting to AI technologies, or we thought we were. Organizations were bringing in all these technologies into the sales process, and we were doing a poor job of adopting and adapting to. So I spend a little bit of time teaching organizations how to do that, but then the remainder of the time is really focused on the human aspect of sales. And, because of our time together, what I realized was, and you'll hear Anna and Peter talk about, their areas of expertise. I mean, it just seemed like it was a great fit for us to come and share our expertise together in a way that providing a co-created program, not a collaboration effort, but a co-created program where we could come in and really make a difference. And I could learn so much myself from Peter and Anna, as I already do anyway. But I'll tell you a story. We met, all of us. I'm going to digress for a second and go backwards a bit. We met about 2 years ago. Peter and I were actually in a couple of different groups together. Anna and I and Peter were all in one group. And I'll be honest. I mean, I love both of them, but I had never imagined that we would be working together. Oh. And Peter and I have been kind of collaborating for a bit of time now, trying to, kind of figure out our strategy and our plan, brainstorming, coming up with new ideas, doing things together already. And then Anna and I, it just happened recently, right? I mean, it was random, right? I knew that Peter and I were going to do something together, even more so we're going to get to a point of co-creation. But Anna, I didn't even think we were even going to collaborate, quite honestly. Right? And then it happened, right?
That's exactly it, because I had interactions with Peter also on different things, and soon I guess we will bring that to life also. But probably when all of us talked about so passionately what we do, and the one thing you mentioned there, Denise, about the human element, right? Human aspect of it. All of us really have a very special place for that, right? Speaking of backgrounds and all, I'm not going to go too long about it, but say that I have accountancy background and been almost 30 years in operations. But operations, you cannot manage without people, right? AI and everything else, as you know, Denise and Peter, I'm really passionate about that also, and learn fast. But yet, people are first. People who work for organizations are first, because we've been there ourselves. We know what it's like. We've been on both sides of being employees, working for somebody and having our own businesses, and working in big multinationals and big corporates. So back to randomness of it, I think the fact that we wanted to learn from each other, Denise, and then the accountability piece. Do you remember? Yeah. Accountability, I think, was the biggest thing. How we were talking separately, I was talking separately, but then we say, okay, why don't we just go and do it? And basically we can say, even today, how this happened, little bit of miscommunication, little bit of whatever it happened, and here we are, real-time action. That's what unites us. And that's why I'm eager to learn more from two of you, and from our audience also, and from people who are going to attend our event. So yeah, happy and delighted to be here, guys. Really are.
Well, just a little bit of background. I mean, I'm originally from South Africa, so I'm not Canadian. So we'll get the record straight. I'm not Canadian. If you haven't picked that up from my accent, well, not everybody picks it up, and I'll forgive you for that one. So, but I started out my career as an engineer over 30 years ago now, and that's been my background for many years. But in the context of engineering, it's been more in the leadership roles, in leading teams, leading projects, leading departments, that kind of thing. And then stepping out on my own with a business partner and leading it, and basically doing a startup company and leading a startup company as a consultancy, and doing all of that. So it's been very much leadership driven, but from the perspective, from a technical background, engineering background. And within that context, there's a difference. Technical people, engineers, think a little differently to maybe the rest of the population. We're very much more analytical. We're very left brain orientated in terms of, the analysis, the strategy, the analytics of things, versus leadership has to have a lot more of the right brain aspect of it, understanding people and the emotion and behavioral aspects of it. And that became a huge focus of mine, an interest of mine, in terms of the leadership. And my own experiences when I was in corporate in leadership and experiencing that has brought me to where I am. So doing a lot of stuff with the executives helping them create aligned executive teams. Hey, let's fill those skill gaps within their leadership, and so we can serve them better. Because let's face it, there's a lot of people who could benefit from that. I'll say it that way.
And Denise, I want to emphasize, Peter, and probably you come this as well. This is, say, maybe we were thinking of collaboration, but the fact that we're going into co-creation, that is such a, it's a different level altogether. And oh my God, there is a different energy when we start thinking about it, right? Time just disappears. That's what I've noticed anyway.
Well, and yeah, to that point, and I mean, what I've seen with both of these ladies, they're pretty amazing ladies, is what they're bringing to the table and what their skill set, their knowledge is. What we are finding, and I'm going to speak from my perspective here, and that is there is a synergy that exists here. And when you have a synergy between a few people, the three of us, a trilogy, I call it a trilogy.
I like that.
Well, maybe if we're all dressed in white, who knows? I don't know. Anyway, but a trilogy of synergy.
Oh my God.
I like that trilogy of synergy. I'm going to have to write this down.
Here we are. We have our color.
Right?
This is happening.
No, I did not rehearse that one.
Chris Colt always says a writer downer.
Yeah, there you go.
Writer downer, Chris Colt.
So a trilogy of synergy here, and what that does, from my perspective, from a collaboration perspective, is we can bring not just three individual factors of value to people out there, to clients out there, to executives and startups out there, but we can bring a ninefold factor. It's 3 squared. Well, that's 9. So 9 times the effect. Can we bring at least that? I think it might be even more. We're all dressed in white, so who knows? Bring that to the marketplace and really help people. I mean, Anna, with your operational background and Denise with your sales background, myself with the leadership background stuff. I mean, I don't know.
And look, I mean, the reality is we as organizations, as individuals, as leaders, we all have to differentiate ourselves from the likes of AI, machines, robots, etc. And the way to do that is to up-level our own game, to just do a better job at all the human things that machines can't do today, that might actually be able to do later on. But that's for a whole nother conversation topic, right? But so we really, I believe in fostering this human experience. So I think next week should be a lot of fun. It will most certainly be really a good sit-down conversation for us to provide some practical tips and for us to learn along the way some of the things that are happening in other organizations. We know from our experience what we're hearing and what we're seeing, but it's always great to get other perspectives. So think of it in terms of, I don't like the term mastermind, right? Because it's been overused, but think of it in terms of an opportunity for us to all come together to have conversation about what's happening within your environment, your organization, and talking through some practical tips that you can take after the session and really implement. We've got an opportunity that we hadn't had before to come together with this synergy and really affect change for all of us, right? Not just us affecting change within other organizations and within leaders, but all of us, the leaders, the organizations, us together, we can all affect change so that we can all hit our targets in 2024. So I want to we're coming to a close, right? So one thing we want to do is just remind everyone who this is for, and maybe just let everyone know who it's not for as well.
So it's for executives and senior leaders in industry, and that can be everything from aviation to marine to manufacturing. We were keeping it a little broad on that, but it is senior leaders, so executives, and then also high achieving startup founders and CEOs, people who really want to go places, really want to make a difference at that level of those startups. Hey, this is your event.
Yeah, and can I just add to it that we are very respectful of other people's time everybody is busy, especially executives at the level that we are. We want to work with. So we just say that this event is not for solopreneurs, coaches, and consultants. Even so, we are falling into that category ourselves, but we just want to respect everybody's time, and the conversation actually will be at the senior level at the big organizations. So hope to see you there.
But for those that are entrepreneurs and coaches, if you're interested in a topic like this, let us know, right? We would, there are other ways we can deliver, or other sessions that we can potentially have, because we want to affect change together together with everyone. So we can work through all of those, options or different discussions that we could have going forward. That all being said, reminder, it is next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, and that's 12 p.m. Central and 7 p.m. Anna Rooney's time.
It's 6
p.m. Sorry, okay, sorry. 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, and 6 p.m. Ireland
UK time.
7 p.m. Europe and 10 a.m. Pacific.
Perfect. Awesome. We're sure to go find, we'll drop the link for the event so that you can reach out to us and, or DM us if you're, comment, DM, go to the event. We'll drop the link for the event in there and connect with us so that we can get you the registration link. And we will look forward to seeing you guys there. And who knows, maybe we'll do another pop-up event prior to next Wednesday. But if not, we'll post this a couple of different times in our feeds. We look forward to seeing you guys there so we can have some amazing conversation together. So together we can impact we can impact change through prioritization in 2024. With such little time left, we all need as much support as possible. So we want to thank you guys for being here. Again, remember to leave Team Live or Team Replay. We thank everyone who is joining us, and we look forward to seeing you guys here next week, 1 p.m., 12 p.m., or 6 p.m., and then various other time zone times. We'll post it all down there for you. So anyway, thank everyone with the trilogy of white shorts.
Synergy in white. That's cool.
Yes. All right. We're gonna sign off, everyone. Anyone want to leave a lasting comment before we go?
No, I look forward to having everybody there, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
The same. Awesome. I support that. Bye. Bye.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna play a little bit of music as we exit.
We said we're gonna dance.